Hi, I'm Rachel with Ally Safety, and one of the questions I get asked regularly on LinkedIn and social media is from people who want to further their health and safety career, asking if they should get a degree, an advanced degree, or certifications. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 things to consider to help you make the best choice for yourself and your unique situation. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. As I mentioned, people often reach out to me on social media asking this question. And so one day, about a year ago, I posted the question to LinkedIn to get some feedback from other safety professionals. The post ended up getting over 50 comments and was referenced in an article on the website, the American Society for Safety Professionals, or ASSP. As you can see, this is an important consideration that most of us are going to make at some point in our careers, and that I myself have made in mapping out my early career about 10 years ago. Since then, I've learned a lot. I've gotten multiple certifications, and though I've only kept 2, the CSP and the CIH, I've made long-term choices about my career and considered whether a master's or an MBA was a good option for me. In this video, I've taken the feedback from that LinkedIn post, the article, my personal experience, and the many conversations I've had with other safety professionals to give you these 5 considerations for the next step in a career in health and safety. I hope it helps you out. For those of you who have already made this decision, let us know in the comments below what you decided and how you made your choice. Also, I'd love to hear any recommendations you have for others. Number 1, define your short-term goals. Where are you at right now? This may seem obvious, but I often chat with people who may not be actively searching for employment in safety just yet, and who are considering safety as a career, or those who have had a job for the same company for a long time and aren't active in the current job market. No matter your current position, make sure you consider your starting point. If you don't have a degree or any certifications, it may be a little bit harder to get a job for a new company. However, people get their start in safety in exactly this position all the time. You're just going to be dependent on experience, which is often more valued by a current employer and can be easier to start in safety with your current employer than starting out in this career field with a new employer. Just something to consider. On the other hand, those choices will be much different for someone who's maybe graduating with a bachelor's or a master's degree and no experience. A lot of education and a little experience can be a difficult starting point depending on the job market, and unfortunately, as we all know, everyone wants to see 3 to 5 years of experience. In this case, get your foot in the door where you can work on certifications simultaneously. Luckily, your schooling means you're already in the habit of taking tests, so it's a great time to knock out a few certifications. No matter where you are, take stock of your current resume, salary, benefits, and the job market. Then move on to number 2. Number 2, define your longer-term career goals. For me, I considered this with a 5 to 10 year timeline. The nice thing about this is it gives you enough time to make big changes, but not so much time that you end up with decision fatigue from just having too many variables. What job do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? Start here and then work your way backwards. How you do that is check job postings for that job that you want and see what employers are looking for. Are they looking for certifications, degrees, or both? Make a note of what industry the job is in. Some industries, like high-tech manufacturing and academia, prize master's degrees, while others, like construction, tend to look for certifications more. What industry do you see yourself in? Target job posts that fit your ideal job when looking at what employers want to see. Number 3, evaluate your resume's strengths and weaknesses. Based on the first 2 factors, you should know where you are and where you want to go. The next question is, what do you need to get there? For example, if you have a degree but no experience and are having problems just starting out and you want to set yourself apart from the competition, Certifications really help to add credibility. So check out what certifications you can get. Start by looking at the Board of Certified Safety Professionals website if you're in the US, or consider NEBOSH if you're international. If you really want more money and more opportunity, then you want to get clear on what positions you'd be interested in and how to build the resume that employers want to see for those positions. Early in my career, I wanted more options for my next career move. At the time, I held a bachelor's degree and a resume that was kind of light on experience. So what I wanted to do was look more credible. Since I was interested in industrial hygiene, I decided to go for the OHST certification from the BCSP. Not only did getting this certification give me more credibility, it also gave me more confidence in my new role as well. If you want both a degree and certifications, one cool thing to consider in the order of operations is something that a commenter brought up on my LinkedIn post. And that was get the certification first, and then afterwards get your master's degree. That way, working towards your degree can help you maintain recertification points. I thought this was pretty clever because keeping up with the recertification points can be a lot of work. Number 4, get clear on the overall investment and the return potential. This was a huge consideration for me, and to be honest, it is for most people. Investment. When you're choosing which direction to go, look at the cost of the degree or certification, the time commitment, and also don't forget to check how much your salary may or may not increase based on this information. It can take years to get a degree and months to years to get a certification. And the interesting thing is, the income potential doesn't always reflect the differences in investment. Get a clear idea of the costs. Consider about how much money you make an hour, how many hours you'll be devoting. Your time is valuable, so make sure it's part of the equation. Then, how much is tuition, books, childcare if you need it, and other expenses, like transportation, or if you can get the degree remotely. For certifications, consider the cost to apply, to take the test, the annual cost of renewal, recertification education, like keeping those certification points active, along with any prep courses, materials, and time spent studying. You may also need to use certifications to get more certifications. Recognize that sometimes you need certifications to help climb the certification ladder. For example, in safety, the CSP, or Certified Safety Professional certification, is the gold standard. However, it requires 5 years of experience and a bachelor's degree. But the good news is, you can start out with one of the lower level certifications, like the CHST, Construction Health and Safety Technician, or ASP, Associate Safety Professional, to get your foot in the door. Then, those certifications will also help you when you're applying for the upper level certifications. One last thing that needs to be mentioned in the investment section is if you're considering an MBA in particular. At one point, I was considering getting an MBA, and I got some really good advice from a safety pro who is very high up in a multinational company. He said, if you're gonna get an MBA, invest in a well-known school for it, because where the MBA comes from matters. This was news to me, but it was also echoed in the responses to my LinkedIn post by others, who said that a lot of MBA programs have become watered down and are just selling a quick MBA degree. That doesn't pull as much weight with employers anymore. So in this case, if you're getting an MBA or looking at getting one, it's quality first. And as we all know, quality can make a huge difference in the cost. Returns. If you want to see what the potential income could be, you can always check job listings, but they tend to be vague and, in my opinion, not very helpful. I think it's much better and more accurate to go to the BCSP website, which is linked below. That's Board of Certified Safety Professionals, which conducts an annual salary survey of safety pros. This is an awesome resource where you can search based on your desired credentials to see if a degree or certification will pay out more. Then you can make an informed decision on if the investment is worth your time. You can even get really detailed by looking at factors like location and gender. Ladies, this information can also be super helpful if you're looking to negotiate a salary and you want to make sure you're making as much as your male counterparts. Trust me, It's helped me out a lot in negotiations. When I was considering next steps, I probably spent about an hour or more on the salary survey to get really clear about what the next best step was. And it helped me to make the right informed decision for me. Number 5, consider the intangible factors. There are also less financially clear returns that are worth thinking about, like your work-life balance and the ideal long-term career. This is where intangible benefits really need to be considered because they're incredibly important. For example, are you willing to sacrifice time at home to climb the corporate ladder? Or are you willing to sacrifice career opportunities if you get the opportunity to work from home? Would you forego career opportunities to be in a location you love? Or are you willing to relocate for the right job? Any choice you make will have potential trade-offs. So just be aware of what they may be and make the choice that aligns the best with your values. One resource I found that was really helpful for me when I was making these types of decisions was this book called Designing Your Life, which is linked below. It's a #1 New York Times bestseller and was written by 2 Stanford professors based on their hugely popular course that helped college students make choices for their careers. The cool thing about this book is it looks more at how you want to live your day-to-day life than just at the career title alone. So this is incredibly important when it comes to your overall satisfaction with work and with life outside of work. Other examples of intangible things you might want to consider in this section can include less common safety career paths. For example, if your goal is to teach at a university, you'll still want to get an idea of the potential salary, but the biggest barrier to entry may be having a master's degree. So in that case, your desired role may make the decision for you, rather than the potential income alone. Sometimes it's more about the job you want than the investment and return calculation. Or, if you really want to take your career international, you'll probably want to chat with a few other safety pros who've worked internationally and ask how they've achieved that. It probably won't be a simple investment return calculation and will take a unique approach and probably some longer-term planning as well. Ultimately, we all know a satisfying life and career are dependent on a lot of factors, so don't overlook the intangible ones. These tips should help you get pretty clear on where you are and where you want to go and how you can get there. But once you know, don't get overwhelmed by the amount of work in front of you. Start small by one step. Maybe it's researching requirements to apply for college or for a certification, sending out a few emails to ask for letters of recommendation, or do a dive into career paths on the BCSP salary survey. No matter what the right first steps are, all of these long-term paths are made up of small steps, so don't get overwhelmed. Just start with one thing. Those are the 5 main considerations that I recommend people think about before they choose whether to get a degree, an advanced degree, or a certification in health and safety. But before I sign off here, I just want to do a quick shout out to all the folks in safety that don't have a degree or a certification. In my career, I've worked with and hired safety pros, and although I value degrees and certifications, I'm often the first to point out that some of the absolute best safety professionals I've ever met have had neither a degree or a certification, and are a wealth of knowledge in terms of real-world experience. These individuals can have a harder time breaking into safety careers and don't always get the consideration they deserve for higher level positions. But keep an open mind when you're out there hiring, because we need to hire for experience as well. Feel free to leave a comment below with any questions or advice based on your own experience. In my experience, safety pros are great for helping one another out, and we all learn a lot from each other. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. And until the next time, I'll see you guys later.